Earlier today, I looked in the mirror and saw the scars from that awful day. I turned my hand in various directions, the scar shimmering in the bathroom light. The events from this day still haunt me no matter how much therapy. Even if I took all the drugs in the world, I can't escape the memories. Lately, it's been making a comeback on social media, so I decided to come out of hiding to tell the tale for the first and last time. I'll start at the beginning, the very beginning of how I came to be at that camp in the summer of 1984. I survived a summer camp massacre in 1984 in body horror, children and childhood, deaths, murders, and disappearances, despair and depression, dreams and nightmares, investigations and crimes, locations and sites, madness, paranoia, and mental illness, monsters, creatures, and cryptids, nature and the outdoors, psychological horror, real-life horrors, slashers and gore, strange and unexplained survival horror, suspense and thrillers, urban legends. It was supposed to be the summer that finally gave him a chance at feeling normal. In 1984, 16-year-old Wyatt is sent to Camp Chattahoochee, an escape from the state home, from cruelty, from the ghosts of the family who abandoned him. Instead, he finds first. Earlier today, I looked in the mirror and saw the scars from that awful day. I turned my hand in various directions, the scars shimmering in the bathroom light. The events from this day still haunt me, no matter how much therapy. Even if I took all the drugs in the world, I can't escape the memories. Lately, it's been making a comeback on social media, so I decided to come out of hiding to tell the tale for the first and last time. I'll start at the beginning, the very beginning of how I came to be at that camp in the summer of 1984. My parents weren't the best people in the world. They had too many kids and too many demons that kept them preoccupied instead of caring for us. We were taken by the state when I was 5 years old. All the memories I have of living with them included some level of abuse that most people find difficult to believe. I can barely remember them now. Once I was moved into the state facility, I thought about them every second of the day for the first year or so. When are mommy and daddy coming to get me? Where are my brothers and sisters? I want to go home. Thoughts like that repeated in my head on a constant loop. I couldn't sleep due to the nightmares of being taken by strangers and whisked away in a police car. Back then, we didn't get therapy or counseling. We were left to fight our problems on our own. It was taboo to even talk about it with the other kids. If you did, you'd be scolded by one of the caretakers. My only distraction was watching replays of old cartoons from one of the 3 local TV stations that we could get on the rabbit ears planted on top of the 19-inch beast of a black and white television. McLeod's Home of Hope wasn't the worst place in the world, but it certainly wasn't the best. Growing up in a home where you were malnourished so your parents could afford beer was definitely worse. During the summer of 1984, I had turned 16 that May. Birthdays at the facility were nothing more than a mention from the head caretaker, an old gray-haired lady that we older kids had nicknamed Torpedo Tits because her large protruding boobs. Torpedo Tits crave power and loved to use that authority on us unfortunates. She would take away toys and activities for the smallest of mistakes. If she came to check your bed and there was even one wrinkle, there went your outside privilege. If you left even a spoonful of food on your plate during any of your meals, there went your reading time before bed. If you got into an argument with another kid, you'd spend the next week on cleaning duty. Once we reached puberty, the boys and girls were separated into different sections of the building, never allowed to interact. One day when I was on cleaning duty, I punched a kid who got into an argument with me over chores. That kid then decided it was okay to call me a bastard, a word that he knew would instantly send me into a violent spiral. I splattered his nose with a punch that Muhammad Ali would have been proud of. I took that punishment with pride. They gave me one of those gigantic mops that you see janitors using in office buildings and told me to clean every inch of that momentous hallway by myself. I was lost in a daydream when I heard a voice call out, "Hey, you, where's Mrs. Norris's room?" I looked up and saw a red-haired girl about 10 feet in front of me. She had walked around the corner and paused by the bend. She wore a green t-shirt with a local mascot of a turtle, and her hair was pushed back by a purple headband. I was smitten immediately. My brain turned to ooze, barely able to form a word, let alone a sentence. Yeah, she, there, awkwardly pointing around in an arc, nearly tripping over my own feet as I twisted around. She laughed. Not a chuckle, but an amusing, hearty laugh. My heart was shattered. The instant reaction to cry was difficult to suppress, taking everything within me to hold back. But at the same time, it still raced. She walked halfway down, turned and looked at me. She flashed a flirty smile and then dipped into my classroom. A few seconds later, she emerged and trotted toward me with her hands behind her back. She leaned close, her mouth just inches from my ear, her hot breath steaming my ear. "Goodbye, janitor boy," she whispered, and then trotted down the hall. It was official. I'd been stricken by Cupid's arrow. No, not just one arrow. The entire quiver had punctured deep into my young heart. After finishing my mopping duty, Torpedo Tits informed us that the state government had started a new program for U.S. strays. They would pay for us to spend 3 weeks at a summer camp each year going forward. We could go only if the facilities approved. The state specifically did not want troublemakers, ne'er-do-wells, or delinquent children, but this was meant to be a reward for those who were well-behaved, or so she told us. The camp began a month later, and boy, did Torpedo Tits use it as a new tool of control. Do your chores, or no summer camp. Make your bed, or you'll spend the rest of summer with me. Do you want to go to camp? Then listen to me. This went on and on until the day before we left. Before we went to sleep, we had a meeting in the den area. Old Torpedo Tits stood before us, clipboard in hand, and a smirk spread wide across her ugly face. "Well, children, the attendants for the trip to Camp Chattahoochee have been decided. I will read off the names of those going, and the rest will be doing extra work here so they can become good, productive young men in the world." She cleared her breath with a phlegmy cough that only cigarette smokers can achieve, something akin to an old car trying to start on a cold morning. Adam, Bryce, Charlie, Denver, Forrest, Henry, Michael, Nathan, Thomas, and finally, Wyatt. She stared at me, her eyes looking angry, as if she wasn't happy that I was chosen. Hearing my name dragged out and spat with vile somehow made me happy. I had worked hard to be good for the last several weeks, even volunteering to do extra duty when Henry had twisted his ankle outside. We were told to go to bed, but as I turned to leave, a hand clamped on my shoulder. "If I hear so much as a tardy from you or the smallest slight, I will march over to that camp and kick your ass all the way back here. You got me, Wyatt. I want none of your bullshit on this trip. You will make a good example out of McLeod's home. You got me?" "Yes, ma'am," came out of my mouth with the practiced cadence of either a kid who had been beaten to obedience or someone fresh out of boot camp. The bus rolled in front of the building at 5 a.m. the next day. My belongings were few, consisting of a few pairs of clothes and some novels that I had borrowed from the library. All of this was crammed into my newly provided canvas backpack. I climbed onto that bus and saw that it was already crammed near its limit with other kids. There was a seat open near the front. The cool and obnoxious kids had amassed in the back to cause their ruckus, which had already begun and was escalating. A few moments later, I saw a glint of red hair sit down next to me. "Janitor boy?" Yeah. "Hi," was the best thing I could think of to reply with. "I'm Sadie, by the way," her smile spreading across her face, lifting her eyes in a way I can never forget. "Wyatt," I said, sticking my shaking, sweaty hand out as if I were a new politician.